questions, well, we have an expert with us. Nona Hekmat is a licensed acupuncturist, and she is on hand to explain a little bit more, take your questions as well. Many major hospitals are also offering it too. The World Health Organization accepted it as a form of treatment back in 2019 when it was first included in influential global compendium. So if you've got any further questions about it, well, you're in luck because Nona's joining us live on the line now, 4001. You can use the ARN Play app or give us a call, 04871 5500. Just a reminder, we don't endorse it, which is always best to consult your physician before anything else. Always get an expert take, and certainly do not do it. How are you?
Hi, Helen. Good to be with you again.
And I find this really, really interesting. I'm very open to exploring different avenues, and as I said, I think a lot of people are on the same page when it comes to their health. Happy to speak to a general practitioner, someone who has got that, that medical background, but very open to exploring alternative avenues and maybe even replacing, depending on their condition. Are you seeing a growing number of people turning to acupuncture to supplement their medical treatment?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm currently doing a research on wellness tourism as well, and we see the numbers are just going up, and even with the pandemic, it's just growing, and it will continue to grow because people want to take health in their own hands, and they want to be proactive in their own health. So before a problem arises, they want to take care of it, and I think that's very important to understand right now, how we can do it and what natural ways we can use to do so.
Before we get into messages that are coming in and some of my questions about specific aspects, are you able to explain to anyone who's unfamiliar with the concept of acupuncture? What is it, and what would happen in a typical session, please?
Right, so acupuncture is part of traditional Chinese medicine, and traditional Chinese medicine is the combination of acupuncture, moxibustion, electroacupuncture, herbs, cupping, and just nutrition as well. So when we talk about acupuncture, we're talking about one of them, and sometimes we combine these different methods to depending on diagnosis. So sometimes you'd need more than just acupuncture. But what acupuncture is it's a preventative approach, and we treat muscles, we treat inflammation. So that's chronic or acute pain, and organs as well. We spoke about this in our other session. So the organ treatment is also very important because we can treat a wide variety of illnesses with organs.
And when it comes to exploring this as an option, do you need to go to your family doctor and say, this is my issue, can you refer me to an acupuncturist? Can you go direct to you? And the key question I know everyone's thinking, is it ever covered by insurance?
It is actually covered by insurance in Europe mostly now. In the UAE, not all, but hospitals do have acupuncture departments, and sometimes they use dry needling, which is sort of like a part of acupuncture, but it's been given a more medical term, and it's a bit changed in order to fit into Western medicine. But hospitals do accept it, and oftentimes now your doctor would send you to a TCM practitioner. You can go directly to a TCM practitioner, but I think it's very important to understand when Western medicine is needed, which is for trauma and it's urgent. So, you have an accident and you split your leg open, you're not going to an acupuncturist. But when you're
always good to clarify.
yeah. So, but when you're actually, you've got a problem and you want to deal with it, and sometimes you don't know where the problem's coming from. This is when a TCM practitioner can go to the core of the problem and solve it. And then it's important to know that these two go hand in hand, so it's complementary alternative medicine. Sometimes you do need both of them. Sometimes, so it depends, and this your doctor can tell you, or the TCM practitioner will let you know when you need both to be together, or you'll do just one.
And then I can ask you, what are some of the kind of most common conditions that you're getting, as I say, walking into clinic, sometimes limping into clinic? What are some of your patients suffering with?
Okay, so the most common one is back pain, right? And this is because of laptops and mobiles. This is one of the biggest issues that people have. This is when we deal with inflammation and pain. So when it comes to when it's not inflammation necessarily, it's usually allergies, asthma, chronic fatigue, hepatitis, even HIV positive patients, autoimmune disease, arthritis, um, deficiency syndromes, immune deficiency, and a big variety of things. It really depends on what stage you are and what needs to be treated. Even disc hernia, we do sciatica. I mean, these are very common issues.
And it came up, we were discussing migraines last week, and it was mentioned there as well with the doctor who's on hand explaining that it often can be really, really effective for those suffering with migraines too. We're talking acupuncture this afternoon. Nona Hekmat joining us until 3 o'clock. So if you've got any questions relating to your specific condition or problem, aches and pains, maybe you're curious if this could help you, please do get in touch. It's 4001. You can use the ARN Play app. You can be anonymous there, of course. And give us a call, 048715500, if you do fancy a bit of an on-air consultation. You don't need to leave your car, you don't need to make an appointment. You just need to test the waters, pick up your phone. We're coming to your messages next. We've had questions around trying to conceive and insomnia. And I'm curious, why do some people have an emotional reaction to acupuncture?
While Ramadan tents are not permitted this year, remember to keep a safe distance and wear a face mask in public. We are responsible to stay safe this Ramadan. Dubai Eye 103.8.
This is an apology from the team at Virgin Mobile to all those still paying full price for their mobile bill. Listen, it's not your fault, it's theirs. Well, it's really their people over in the marketing team. If only they would have done a better job of telling you that when you get your hands on a Virgin Mobile yearly plan, you save a huge 50% off your total bill. 50%? Imagine all that money you could have saved. So let's make this official for anyone who still doesn't know.
Save 50% off your mobile bill with the yearly plan from Virgin Mobile. Download the Virgin Mobile app today and start saving.
The Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1.
Keeping you updated and informed.
Focus on the unfolding situation in India right now. The founder and chairman and managing director of Asta DM Healthcare, Dr. Azad Movement.
What I'm really worried is overall, there is a bomb sitting there. The numbers which we hear now, I think it is the tip of the iceberg. There is a much larger problem. If we don't take very, very aggressive measures like a war footing, there could be lack of ICU beds, lack of hospital beds, and lack of healthcare personnel.
And coming up,
100 days of the Biden presidency, we'll take stock. Join the conversation weekdays from 7 a.m.
with the University of Wollongong in Dubai, Pan Emirates, and Betty Salat.
The Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1. Come together, stay connected and organised, and accomplish more across work, school and life with Microsoft Teams. With Microsoft Teams, there's more ways to thrive in the new era of work. There's more ways to share ideas and more ways to learn. There's more ways to collaborate and work together as part of a team. And there's more ways to collaborate from anywhere. Chat, meet, call, collaborate. A Microsoft Teams meeting is so much more than just a video call. Come together and stay together at aka.ms/more than a video call.
Kids are full of laughter, courage and energy when they're full with a good school meal. This Ramadan, help Dubai Holding in partnership with the United Nations World Food Programme in their efforts to put an end to world hunger through a Meal for a Brighter Tomorrow campaign in support of the 100 Million Meals Initiative launched by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Donate today via the Share the Meal app.
Celebrate Ramadan with Lotus Car's Lucky 10 celebration offer. At Damas Motors is pleased to commemorate the holy month and our beautiful new showroom on Sheikh Zayed Road. The first 10 lucky celebration customers receive 0% finance, 2 years free servicing, and a guaranteed part exchange buyback. Treat yourself to a brand new Lotus this Ramadan, the affordable sports car from 3,450 dirham per month. Feel special, celebrate Ramadan, and be one of the lucky 10 customers. Visit our showrooms in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and feel feel the dream.
On the Big Interview podcast, we take you to some pretty unexpected places, like out into space.
A strange sort of hint of an odor, like if you're cooking meat and a little bit of the fat falls on the hot flame and there's that charcoal smell.
Inside a hippo.
It bite down so hard that I really felt he was going to break me in half.
And behind the scenes in Hollywood.
I did turn down a meeting with an unknown American called George Lucas. And my agent at the time said, this is stupid. Never turn down an opportunity.
It's all about extraordinary people with remarkable stories to tell. Don't miss an episode. You can find the Big Interview on DubaiI1038.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Join the conversation on Afternoons with Helen Farmer
On Dubai Eye 103.8.
And looking ahead to Thursday between 2 and 5, the conversation's all about food. It is Farmer's Kitchen, brought to you by Spinneys with me, Helen Farmer, here on Dubai Eye 103.8. This is your chance to meet amazing chefs, hear the latest food news, trends, and some of them are pretty out there, to be honest. We've got some great recipe inspirations. Meeting some of the small businesses here in the UAE that you can now find on the shelves. And quite honestly, probably the most hotly contested prize of the week, a 500 dirham voucher to spend in store at Spinneys, and you can spend it on whatever you like. I have frequent daydreams about winning this prize and what I would spend it on. So I'm always interested to hear what you would do. So we'll be telling you more about that on Thursday afternoon. That is coming up on Farmer's Kitchen between 2 and 5 here on Dubai Eye 103.8, brought to you by our friends at Spinneys.
Healthy habits.
on Afternoons with Helen Farmer.
Discussing acupuncture this afternoon with practitioner Nona Hekmat. She's on the line to help you out and answer my questions as well. 4001 is the way to reach out, and of course you can get in touch using the ARN Play app, or you can also give us a call. It is 04871 5500, and you can be completely anonymous if you prefer, like this caller.
My wife has sometimes headaches, like on and off. And at times she just goes to the hospital and she'll get a needle of some sort, and then I'm assuming it's a painkiller. She has been to the hospital more than once, not like regularly as in every month, or maybe once a year. But when she has like migraine, really bad migraine, she needs to go to the emergency room. She will see a doctor there. They will give her some kind of a shot, and then I'm assuming, like I said, a painkiller, and it becomes better. I'm wondering, what could you do? Would acupuncture be of help to her? Thank you very much.
No, you mentioned earlier that you think of acupuncture as being a preventative measure, and I really would encourage this listener to go back and listen to the podcast from last Tuesday when we were discussing migraines. We were talking a lot about triggers and when to take medication before, and I was very much in the same situation with migraines before having to go to A&E and ending up on a drip and getting painkillers and anti-nausea tablets. But where does or could acupuncture come in when it comes to preventing getting to this point?
Well, for migraines, as severe as that, I think acupuncture would, we have specific points we can use with acupuncture, but also a combination of that and cupping therapy. Cupping therapy also helps, regular cupping therapy. And there's often a core problem, and that's what your traditional Chinese medicine practitioner can tell you. That could be the body just telling you that something is off and you need to take care of it. So it's hard to tell, but once they see a TCM practitioner, they can mostly point out what is happening and how to mitigate the problem.
So if you are interested in learning more about that, you can find that podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Just look for Afternoons with Helen Farmer. It was last Tuesday. And we were discussing all sorts of different factors that can feed into migraines, including hormones, and addressing that as well. I want to ask you about the science behind acupuncture. Actually, the message that Al has echoed here saying, is there scientific evidence that acupuncture works at all? Let's not discount the placebo effect. What does the science say? There seems to be relatively few official studies into it. But there seems to be, Johns Hopkins, for example, talking about the impact on non-specific lower back pain and things that have been addressed in a kind of a more anecdotal sense rather than studies. What would you say, Nona?
Well, TCM has become part of Western medicine. It is now a regulated profession. There are enough clinical studies to to put it in as part of complementary alternative medicine. That's why we have is in hospitals, and insurance companies are accepting TCM treatments. So there are enough clinical studies now, and most of Europe, it's a regulated profession, as it is absolutely in the UAE as well. There are different types of traditional medicine, so it's important. So there is Unani medicine, which is Islamic medicine, and then there's Indian medicine, and those are not they're not regulated. So, and I think it's important to understand that TCM is a regulated profession.
Thank you for that. Coming to the text line, no name on this one saying, could acupuncture help complement IVF? Is this something you've had clients coming in with wanting to complement, is exactly the right word, work hand in hand with some of the medical side of fertility treatment?
Yes, with IVF, it occasionally can, because IVF, when the issue with infertility can often be organ related, and when we treat the organs, once we know where the problem comes from, we go directly to the organs, and it absolutely helps with it. Sometimes a patient doesn't need IVF, so this is, again, it depends on the core problem. But a lot of, I've seen very often, I mean, these are specialized TCM practitioners who do infertility, and I've often seen that they can treat it without the need for anything, for any Western medicine.
Purely anecdotal, I was going for acupuncture for headaches, migraine, shoulder pain, neck stiffness, and became pregnant. And I told my practitioner, and he was like, yes, many of my patients get pregnant off the plan.
Yes, I remember you mentioned that.
It made me sign a waiver.
Well, see, the way that it works is, you were talking about why people get emotional during acupuncture, because it releases endorphins and we release emotions, and that's how we work with the organs. A lot of psychological problems that we keep, a lot of emotions that we keep inside, become the problem and start to translate into pain in the body or translate into dysfunction in the body. So when we use the needles, and if we target the right areas, then we know that we're creating this release, and that release can often, you'll find that a lot of your other issues, we're treating your back, and all of a sudden your sinus issues go away. So you see all these changes, and that's why it's so amazing, because the body can self-regulate. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of extra help.
I was really shocked at the emotional reaction I had to one session in particular. I'm generally a very content, even mood, person, but
I can tell.
But I really am. It takes a lot to make me angry. It really doesn't happen very often. I generally road related, but in this particular session, he put the needles in, he left the room, and I could feel myself getting angrier and angrier. And I came in and I was like, please just take them out immediately. Please just take them out. Took the needles out, and I burst into tears. I was like, whoa, that's some pretty intense. It was pretty out there, got to say. So let us know your experiences, and of course, do get in touch with any questions. We've got Nona with us until 3 o'clock today. We've had a question regarding knee pain, specifically after keyhole surgery, and lots of questions are on pain as well, so we'll be coming to those.
With Helen Farmer.
On Tuesdays, we speak to the experts, and while they can't be in the studio right now, we can have them on the phone. We are discussing psychology after 4 o'clock, about colon health just after 3, and right now we're discussing acupuncture. Traditional Chinese medicine and complementary therapy for so many conditions, so many of you getting in touch with your questions. It's believed to stimulate the central nervous system, releasing chemicals into muscles, spinal cord and brain, and these biochemical changes can stimulate the body's natural healing abilities and promote physical and emotional well-being. And Nona Hekmat is with us today, a licensed acupuncturist who's taking your questions on 4001 and on Air and Play app as well. Phone lines are open to 048715500. Just a reminder, we don't endorse it. It's just always best to consult your physician before anything else, but we are exploring it this afternoon on the show. Nona, thank you so much for being with us. You're very popular this afternoon. We're going to get through many questions as possible. A message here and no name on this one, and as we always say, absolutely fine to be anonymous. Can this be used for knee pain, specifically after a keyhole procedure on knee cartilage? Any cartilage issues there? What about knee pain? I'm curious for me as well.
Oh yeah, sure. We can treat knee pain easily, and acupuncture is often used post surgery. So we can also treat symptoms you might have after surgery, like nausea, vomiting, urinary retention, headaches. So it's definitely useful for after surgery, and for inflammation, we can use it all over the body.
We're actually planning a show on hormones over the next few weeks, hormone imbalances. And something when I was doing some research on it around PMS, actually, was acupuncture was mentioned quite a lot. Has that been helpful with any patients you've had in the past?
Absolutely. Actually, one of my specialties is hormones, and with acupuncture, we can regulate, and we use herbs as well, moxibustion. So we use a variety of things, and we use the heating and cooling systems of the body. This is also very important, especially with COVID. I think people would also like to know that during COVID, keeping the body warm, not just physically, but also warm foods. There are like categorizations of foods. Warm foods are what keep body's immunity strong, and it would be important to do that. And the hormones also, we use the needles to regulate our hormones, because men and women have the same hormones, but we just need to have different levels of them.
It's interesting you mentioned COVID there, because Mandeep's been in touch on 4001 saying, my limbs feel weak post-COVID. Could acupuncture help strengthen my muscles? And again, please do go and see your doctor about anything medical. But when it comes to strengthening muscle, I mean, post-COVID fatigue seems to be something that a lot of people are suffering from. In Mandeep, it's with muscles feeling weak. Any experience of that?
Yes, definitely. With the needles, when we're targeting muscles, we target the weaker muscles in order to strengthen them. And then we can use electroacupuncture as well, which not only decreases inflammation, which decreases pain, because all pain is inflammation, but also it increases the number of T cells in the body. So it's also important for immunity.
No, just like electroacupressure. Like, oh my
Right.
goodness, needles and electricity.
And electricity.
Now,
all right, but it's very simple. It's it's
because it's sounding pretty medieval. I wanted to ask you about needles though, because what if you have a needle phobia? I have a lot of friends who, even getting their vaccine, really, struggling to get over that. So how can you address that in people who have a genuine phobia, often faint or feel sick around needles?
It's you barely feel it. It's only when you have a very weak muscle that we will trigger it, and then you'll feel like a little spasm, or you'll feel like a jerk on your arm or your knee. And that happens often, which is a good sign, because now we know that we've hit the right nerve, and your body's reacting to it. But if someone really has a phobia, I would suggest that we do it on their back, put in a few needles, and they'll realize it's really nothing to worry about, and they'll be perfectly fine.
Eye mask podcast. Don't tell them needles are going in.
Right.
Coming to text line, Emma's been in touch saying, can acupuncture help manage, and I'm so sorry if I'm saying this wrong, trigeminal pain? Basically, I googled it. Sudden severe facial pain. Any insights there?
Facial pain, yes. Facial pain and facial disability, actually. So sometimes it's a matter of nerves. Maybe a nerve gets stuck, or it just needs to be triggered. And yes, we can take care of that.
I'm curious. Do you have, I don't say a dream client, but are there people that respond particularly well to acupuncture, and some people that perhaps maybe not immune to it, but you wouldn't perhaps get the desired results? Are there any characteristics in people that would make them a good candidate?
Yes, completely, because we do work with the psychology of the patient as well. And when we deal with the organs, how we categorize people is two types of people: one that doesn't know where the pain is, and one that knows where the pain is. So some of the people that come, they're very systematic. They know exactly where the pain is, and they want it done like this and like that, And then there's some people that know they have a pain, they know they have a discomfort, they know they have a problem, but they really don't know what it is or where it's coming from. And they can often feel a pain in their shoulder today, and the next day it's in their ear, and then it's traveling around the body. And these can easily happen because it's psychological pain. It's pain, it's organ issues that are translated into pain, or maybe some emotions that get translated into pain. So these are obviously more complex because you really have to target the person in not only physically, but it's also an emotional thing. So yeah, sometimes it gets a bit complicated because we need more time with them, but results are always good.
Nona, we're running out of time with you. We've got you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So if anyone's got any messages or questions, queries relating to acupuncture, get in touch. This is your last chance. Nona Hekmat is a licensed acupuncturist answering your questions on any conditions. Maybe you want an expert second opinion, please do reach out. If you don't want to put your name on a message, absolutely fine. Just say no name, anonymous, doesn't matter a bit. 4001 or via the ARN Play app. Also, the phone lines are open at 04871 5500. We are coming to your messages next, including if you are pregnant, should you tell the gynae before going? And how old can you be before they put the needles in?
Join the conversation on Afternoons with Helen Farmer.